Hey ho folks, what's up? This is Macro and today we're playing Satisfactory again. It's been quite a while since I recorded the last episode, I gotta say. On the other side, I was quite busy in between episodes taking care of a few things. I even had to kind of write them down, as you can see on the right hand side on our to-do list, right? So that I hopefully don't forget about any of those. And you might also have noticed that all the other things from the last episode, especially the alternate recipes, are gone from the to-do list, which means we have found them. So we are basically good to go with our second to last factory, namely the quantum basics factory, right? So apart from the things that I wrote down, let me show you a few more things. And I guess this episode is gonna be a lot of it, at least, is gonna be just catching up, right? Giving you a quick rundown on what happened. So when we have a look at the mem in the hard drive library, you can see there are a lot of alternate recipe selections, let's say, that did not fit what I was about to unlock, right, for our factory. So I now decided, I don't know if I have talked about that in any previous episode, but I now decided to leave them in here rather than going along with something that I don't need, right? Because this takes those recipes out of the pool, right? So if we scan another hard drive, those recipes won't show up. And that will, of course, raise the chances of us getting the recipe that we want. So they all linger around here, waiting for us to choose, basically, right? So that's one thing that's not on the list. So another thing that's not on the list, let me show you on that real quick, no big deal. When I prepared our next factory, I again came at the point, arrived at the point where I ran out of concrete, right? Or foundations, because that's a lot of foundations. So I decided, why not use this one concrete, or limestone rather, spot up here, pull it up to the maximum, 600 per minute, and turn all of that, don't look at the pipes here please, into concrete using the wet concrete recipe here, right? And also use multiple uploaders to, what is it? It's 240 each, yeah, and I think it's not quite 480, all of them. So we are good with the upload rate of concrete here, and we shouldn't run into any of those problems anymore. And you might think that these two guys here are a bit of a waste of Mercer spheres, but let me show you. We still have 34 left, right? And while we're at it, summer sloops we are at 20. That's because you might remember we ended our last episode with the search for more hard drives, basically, but that also gives us kind of automatically some Mercer spheres and some summer sloops, and also some slugs we might come across, right? So that's obviously what I did. So we are good on spheres and summer sloops, and also we are very, very good on shards. See, there's an extra 255 here. I've got, what, 100? Yeah, in my inventory. And I think the depot should be full. Yeah, another 500. So we're good there. And I don't think we ever need to produce any of the, yeah, what is it called? The the other short recipe here, right? That we unlocked a few episodes ago. The synthetic ones, right? Yeah, we don't need those, I guess. What else? The biometric sculptures, are they called that way? The remaining 211, I've got them with me, so let's put them in. So this one is completed as well. Only a few AI expansion servers, 256, what a beautiful number, and 200 ballistic warp drives after that. So yeah, the AI expansion server is basically what we are gonna work on next. Another thing, since I ran out of ammunition on my exploration trip, I decided to put down a little automation for homing rifle ammo, right? So, no big deal, just 3 input containers where we manually put the ingredients in, and then, yeah, a little production line that constantly produces those, and which is connected to a depot uploader as well. So we shouldn't have any ammunition problems going forward. Alright, so now let's get to the list. Oh, that was one item of the list already. So next one, or first one rather, is I upgraded all of this, hopefully, to Mark 6 belts now. And I try to verify that with those, what are they called? Throughput monitors, right? So, yeah, not the best one to verify that. I guess we can take a look here. Yeah, you can see there are peaks of 1,200 items per minute, which is exactly the capacity of the Mark 6 belt, right? And yeah, I did that all the way around for all of those smart splitters and mergers here. So our storage facility should be maxed out, basically. Which is good, right? One more thing. We spoke about Merthyr spheres, and I added depot uploaders for all the parts for which they are relevant. So basically all parts except for space parts. I hope so, at least. And I think, I don't know, stagers? I actually don't need stagers. Yeah, I didn't connect them. That's what I expected. Alright, so we should be good for all the non-space parts. In terms of depot, yeah, that's the storage upgrades. Yeah, let me check those things off of our list so I can keep track of what I want to tell you. So the next big thing is the rocket fuel power plant. MK2 I call it, because it's our second one and it's a little bit bigger. Let me hop into our train here and try to find the train station that I set up down there. I think it is Southwest Lake, yeah. Let's go on over there. While we're on our way, let me show you the plan I made for this one real quick. So, the plan was to use 2 full pipes of rocket fuel, so 1,200 per minute, right? That's 12 blenders, by the way. And all the remaining stuff, yeah, you basically already have seen that in our Mark 1 facility. But I want to show you anyway. And by the way, the power generators, the fuel generators I powered with the rocket fuel, are all overclocked. That's mainly the reason why I produced so many of the shards, right? Because we needed, I don't know what it was, like 180 again or something. Yeah, just because I want to save some space and some time and some hassle placing those, right? The polymer resin here, we don't use it actually. We just scrap it over there. Yeah, the remaining stuff is nothing special, as I already said. So let's have a quick visit there. And while we're going there, let's talk a bit about the nuclear plant optimizations, which is the next point. I basically tried to optimize it. You might remember we had some problems with our water feedback loop, and I tried to rearrange it a bit so that the excess water from, what was it basically, the rod production already? I don't know, something along those lines back there, that this excess water goes into the refineries with priority, right? So that it will always be prioritized before our actual water extractors. So the water should be used. Oh, now you might already be a bit spoiled here. Don't look at it too closely. Let's look at the ground, right? We are going to take a look at that in a minute. Yeah, and it seemed to work quite well for some time. But the last time I visited it, which was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 in-game hours ago, it didn't. It had some mysterious problems regarding iron plates, and yeah, I just didn't feel like taking care of that, because let's be honest, the power output isn't actually worth it, is it? Yeah, I think you mainly just build a nuclear power plant for fun and not for using the power or needing the power or whatever, right? So at this point, I'm even wondering whether we should extend the nuclear power plant at all to the, Fixonium variant. So we're probably not gonna do that, actually. I mean, I could imagine doing that in a stream or something like that, so just let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. So that's obviously a little train station here, right, to get here in a quite convenient way. And that's basically the whole factory for the rocket fuel. I haven't even finished the walls, I realized just now. Usually we encase our factories in in an ugly cube-like structure, right? So yeah, as I already said, nothing special. Everything here should not be new to you, so it's just more of the same, right? Oil production, fuel production, a little bit of iron plate production here for the sulfuric acid, I think, nitric acid, of course. A little bit of petroleum coke over here for the turbo fuel, and there's another turbo fuel production line over here, I think, yeah, which uses compacted coal, which is a byproduct of the rocket fuel production, right? Just to not waste it, basically. So that should all be fine, and that should all be running at, I hope, 100%. I made sure that factory is now on a higher ground compared to the generators, so that we don't have any issues with pumps or something like that. And I gotta admit, initially, the very last generators here at the end had some issues. Nevertheless, they're running at 100%, so they're good. Let's check them all real quick. It's 100%, 100%. 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, it looks like after a few hours, I guess, of balancing out, this all runs smoothly now. Yeah, down there, that's the water supply, and all the way back there, we get our oil from. And if we have a look at the power production now, we basically doubled it, right? I think we were at about, I don't know, 75 gigawatts or something like that, and now we're sitting at 150. And here you can already see the fluctuations caused by the nuclear power plants going on and off. Yeah, doesn't really matter, because this thing here covers all our power needs, and we should be good until the end of the game now. Yeah, that's quite a power plant, I guess. Produces about 75 gigawatts. So that's that. I talked about the nuclear power plant optimizations. So let's jump into the train and get over to the Quantum Basics factory, or rather the factory complex, I'd say. So let's hop into here. And the station for that I called Tri-Point, since it's basically on the edge of 3 biomes. And when it comes to the location of the factories, let's say, multiple, right? We basically we stuck to our plan. I already removed the markers, didn't I? I think so. So that should be, yeah, that's the train station. Alright, that's the train station where we are going to right now. Tri-Point. A few oil nodes over here, and basically this bauxite node is what we use for our what do you call it? The support factory. This one here, right? Which produces some of the intermediary products: time crystals, plastic, rubber, and aluminum ingots. Again, we got this weird feedback thingy here, where recycled rubber supplies rubber to the recycled plastic, and the other way around, right? So that caused a little bit of a problem, because at some point it always stalled. I'm going to show you in a minute, but basically I had to use smart splitters to use the excess output to supply it to each of the refineries, right? So excess plastic goes to recycled rubber, and excess rubber goes to recycled plastic. Otherwise, it wouldn't work as intended. Yeah, but after setting it up accordingly, oh, already here, that's good. After setting it up accordingly, I hooked the outputs to a set of sinks, just to see and measure the throughput of the belts, right? Just to see if the factory is actually producing the intended amount of each. So that's the train station for our new factory complex. Just to give you an idea where we are, over there's the aluminum oil support factory for, what was it? I think the PCC factory, which should be somewhere over there. Yeah, as you can see on the compass on the top of the screen, right? It's over there. There's the Spiral Coast. That's the Red Forest. We got the, I don't know what this biome is called here. And we got the Green Forest here. Down there, there's the water supply. And, oh, the water supply for the support factory. I mean, that's this beautiful thing here, right? And over there somewhere, that's the aluminum line, right? And the aluminum line, for that one, we basically reused the aluminum node that we used for the support factory over there, the other one, which I built in a time lapse. You might remember that. Yeah, and I hooked the whole aluminum supply to the other miner over there, which we couldn't do at that time, I think because of the missing Mark 6 belts. But now we can, so we're good. And down here there should be the oil as well. Yeah, so everything comes up at this pillar here, basically, oil and water. And yeah, that's where all the resources come out. All of them on separate belts. We don't use trains or anything. You can still see the throughput meters here, right? Separate belts because we bring all of them over to the actual factory, which is over there. So let me show you around real quick. Again, it's nothing special, nothing that we haven't done yet. So that's diamonds from oil, right? And then they are turned into time crystals here, and that's what goes down here and out this way, right? And this time around I placed those converters here, and I thought I placed the right amount, but I forgot about 2. And I started building the Romania factory, right? And all the space here was already occupied with refineries and stuff. And then I realized that I forgot about them, so I had to build the remaining ones on top. Don't judge me. I'm still learning, right? Yeah, but now it's the right amount, so that should be fine. Yeah, over here is what I talked about a minute ago regarding the feedback loops of plastic and rubber, right? There's one smart splitter here that only outputs the overflow actually to the actual output of the factory, right? And everything else goes back into the supply for the rubber refineries here, and same goes for the rubber. That should be this one. Oh, that's even a priority merger. Yeah. Because it should, of course, take the internal products first, and only if they are empty, this line should be active, and this one is the smart splitter that I was talking about, which feedbacks the output rubber back into the system, right? Yeah, other than that, I guess that's all there is to say about this one. So again, let me pull up the plan real quick. That's what we're producing here, right? These aluminum ingots, rubber, plastic, and the time crystals down there. Now I'm not sure if I showed it. Aluminum ingots, rubber, plastic, time crystals. So, all right, let's get back into the game. And let's hop over to the actual factory. Well, actually, let's talk about what we are bringing in here via train and drones. So over here I rerouted our battery train to bring in batteries, because you might remember we need, I think, 150 batteries, which are constantly delivered here and also make their way down below over to the factory. And same goes for magnetic field generators. Yeah, that's it. They are delivered via drones. So this drone is waiting that someone finally uses some of those. They also go on this belt here, right? So there's the 4 belts from our support factories and support factory, rather, this one back there. And then there's those 2 belts from the train and from the drone. All of that goes over here. And as I already said last episode, that's gonna be a big boy. So these are, as you might imagine, the resource supplies, right? That should be, I think, deuterium and iron ore back there, copper all the way from back there, quartz, our SAM and water. By the way, we need 3 pipes of water here. Come from very close to, very close to our nuclear power plant over there. We don't look at it. It's ashamed. So down there I extended the whole water extractor area a little bit more to have 15 more extractors. So we have 3 full pipes, which we don't need. It's only like 1350 water or something like that, rather than 1800. But, you know, better safe than sorry, I guess. And that's the SAM down there, 600 per minute. And all of that goes into here. A lot of the routing already happens below the actual foundation, right here. A bit more of routing happens here. You could basically call that the logistics floor, I guess, which I wanted to start using more, but I haven't, I guess. So, but we're still fine. Then there's a lot of the usual stuff, right? Pure copper, then the steamed copper sheets. There's the quartz. There is, that should be iron. Yes, that should be the copper. Yeah. Then there's deuterium over there. All turned into the appropriate products. The quick wire here, or what do we have here? Oh yeah, iron wire. That's a lot of iron wire constructed. This row, this row, this row, and this row. I think it's 57 overall or something, or 58 rather, because I use even numbers here, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of iron wire going on here. Yeah, then stuff like cables, iron pipes over here, which I use somewhere else, obviously. More complicated stuff like crystal oscillators here. What are those? All crystal oscillators, alright. That should be AI limiters, right? Yeah. All of that stuff. Circuit boards for computers, and so on and so forth with this status. Yeah, of course. And by the way, we mixed 2 circuit boards recipes, right? We have this row of assemblers here, which use the silicon circuit board. And we have another row of 4 here, which use the regular circuit board recipe. So we're basically mixing those. It's a bit weird. We've never done that, I think. But I mean, why not, right? So that's the aluminum sheets, which are mainly used. No, those aren't used at all yet. Yeah. But the aluminum ingots, that's the reason why we produce aluminum ingots over there instead of the sheets or something. Because we need them for sheets here, obviously. But we also need them for the FICSIT ingots over here, right? So we turn all the 600 SAM, which arrives here, into reanimated SAM, which we then turn to FICSIT ingots using aluminum ingots. So that's where the remaining ones go. And those FICSIT ingots already go into those here to produce FICSIT trigon, which we also do not use yet. So a lot of stuff to come, and all of this stuff we are gonna go through together. The next floor doesn't look less complicated or complex, let's say. It's just a lot of the same, basically, right? So we have, what is it, 18, I think? 18 manufacturers for computers, right? Is it 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, right? Yeah. Times 2, right? 18. All of those computers, all of them, are used over here in 7 or 6 point something more manufacturers for supercomputers. And here we use the super state computer recipe using all this stuff, and that's where the batteries come in, right? Yeah, and they use all the computers, obviously. How much? Yeah, that's 2.5 per minute only for one manufacturer. So we need a lot of them, obviously. So, and that's where I basically finished my preparations. So let's, whoopsie, let's have a look. Can I please land on here? Thank you. Let's have a look at the big plan then. By the way, that's the concrete factory I talked about earlier, right? 600 limestone per minute. 400 concrete per minute is it, yeah. Additional to our basic concrete supply. So let's go through this real quick and move everything to the left that we have already taken care of. So circuit boards, I showed you raw quartz, also turned into silica, by the way, since we need that for the other circuit board recipe. There's the 1300 water, a little bit of deuterium here, quartz crystals, of course, the SAM. What's down here? That's still the copper ore. Let's move that up. All right, that's quick wire, AI limiters, more inputs, which we also should have taken care of already. That's the crystal oscillators. Yeah. We covered them on the lower floor. The sheets here, that's all right. FICSIT ingots and FICSIT trigons, already took care of them. Electromagnetic control rods, also done. Superstate computers, also done. That's the batteries, that's the computers. Let me move that, thank you. Also taken care of. So I guess that should be all that's left, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you remember how big the quantum encoders are, and we need 5 of them only for the neural quantum processes here, well, I guess we need a few more floors for our Satisfactory then, I guess. And then there's this whole feedback with dark matter residue going on here, right? That's gonna be weird. But as always, we're gonna handle it, right? Shouldn't be a problem. So, where should we start? This one we can't because we would need photonic matter first. Time crystals. It's always weird when you need one resource pretty early in the production chain and pretty late as well. But I guess the only thing we could do is, whoopsie, is this one, right? 5 quantum encoders, you say. Okay, let's see if there's any chance we can place them here. And after that we can try to find out wow, how we proceed with the belt work for that. So let me have a quick look. What are we producing? We already produced some dark matter residue here. Okay. And we need all of the inputs because what? Oh. Okay, let me show you real quick. I don't know how that's supposed to work. We need, I'm looking at the 4 in lines, right? So in 75 per minute time crystal, no problem. 15 supercomputers per minute, no problem. FICSIT trigons, no problem. But then we need excited photonic matter, which is kind of weird. No, it's not. It's not. I remember. Okay, that's a bit of a weird thing because we don't need any inputs for that. So we of course start with a excited photonic matter then. We need 5 converters. All right. Let's switch back to the game. All right. So that's a weird thing to do actually because that never happened before in the game. I mean, you could kind of compare that to water extractors maybe, but I mean, those things you can place anywhere, right? I think so. Excited photonic matter. Yeah, doesn't need any inputs. So that was what? 4.5? 4.75. Okay. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one at 75%. And then we need power, right? Let's extend this a little more. Like back here. That's not even right. Back here, of course. And place one power pole like over here, I guess. Make that MK3. And connect all of those. So they should now start producing. And how much is it? It's 200 per minute, right? So, whew. That's way more than we can transport in a single pipe, of course. So I'm rethinking that. Let's not worry too much about the actual count here, but let's maybe place them, be a little less space efficient, right? And place, what is it then? 2 converters directly close to the neural quantum to the quantum encoders, right? So that we produce the photonic matter close to where we need it. You know what I mean? Ah. All right, back to quantum encoders, I guess. Yeah, it's a learning process. And as I said, that's the whole part of the game now is new to me. So back to this. 4 quantum encoders. All right. 4? I read 5 and say 4? What the hell is wrong with me? Nobody knows. Okay, so... I wanted to check the outputs. That was... Yeah, dark matter residue is another output. So we have to take care of 2 outputs here, basically, right? So... let's maybe start here. Look at this thing. Wow. That's neural quantum processors. Fancy lights here, huh? All right. Yeah, and that's exactly 5 of them, right? So, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. All right. Now, and the inputs are weirdly distributed here, right? So those 3 are a little bit more in this direction, and those are back there. I don't know if I like that. We'll see about it. All right, what do you need? You need the sum of the time crystals. So maybe we should take care of time crystals first. And that's gonna be a bit weird. Should be this belt here. I think I saw them already, yeah. Don't know where we are going to bring those in. Maybe we have to go through here somehow and then... I already don't like that. So we might have to break with our patterns here a little bit. The farthest we can go is here. Yeah, so let's not make it too complicated, I guess, and just bring it up here. That's 1, 2. Should be here. Give me a lift. Turn it around. Connect those. Do we want to bring it up and then in? What's the plan here? I guess so, right? Yeah, I guess so. So let's put in some walls here all the way up. Maybe... Maybe... no, that's weird as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. You know what? I don't want to bother you with the details of how I do that. I'm probably gonna do something like that, right? Just pull a few foundations here, maybe all the way to the corner. Like that. Like that. Maybe even around here, I don't know. And then we are going to bring that underneath here. So, sorry. So we are going to do something like that. Let me grab the wall holes. They are on the left lane here, basically. So we want to place them into here, right? So we can do something like that, I guess. That. And then bring it this way. All right. And then somehow all the way around here. Yeah, maybe rather somehow through here, right? In between refineries, something like that. And then over to our encoders here. All right, guys, that should be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. I know this episode was more me talking and showing you things instead of actually building something. So let me check all of that off of our list here. I remove that in between episodes. But the next episodes, we will build factories again, and that's what we're here for, aren't we? Yeah, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I also hope to see you around next time as well. And until then,